What's good? What it do? We back with another one. The RiSSky Powerhouse Pod. We active. Hey, look, yo, I'm sitting here looking at just looking at the stats for the channel and stuff. And we started off strong. We up to 1,306 subscribers. Wednesday, January 12th. We started on December 4th. So obviously that's just more than a blessing. But over the course of the last week or so, the subscribers, even the viewership and stuff has kind of slowed up a little bit. Y'all keep pushing. The Powerhouse, we got to keep pushing. Keep sharing those videos. Keep liking the videos. Keep dropping y'all comments. Keep the action going because y'all already know how this goes. It's all media. It's all media. So as far as y'all take it, is as far as it's going to go. So I need y'all support. Keep it up. Y'all know I love y'all. Y'all love me. Take the time to help your boy. You feel me? Share the videos. It's all social media, bro. So, yeah, with that being said, the Powerhouse, we're going to continue to keep going, keep dropping videos, and keep it pushing. But when we get into the basketball side of things for today, Washington got a good win. Kyle Kuzma been playing out his mind over the last 7 games, 20 rebound games, 20-plus points for the last 8 games consecutively, if I'm not mistaken, except one game. So, dude been balling. Shout out to him. When you look at Phoenix, Chris Paul still diamond. They playing as a unit. Get DeAndre Ayton back in the lineup. They obviously get better. That pushes Jalen Smith back to the bench. Even though Cam Johnson been out for, I think, 2 games now, they have plenty of forwards to make up for him. So Phoenix doing their thing. New Orleans got a win over Minnesota. Brandon Ingram hit a game-winner 3. Big-time shot. Shout out to Brandon Ingram. The New Orleans Pelicans need every win they can get pretty much. Or do they really? Should they go for another lottery pick to add along with Zion and Brandon, or should they really try to win? They should go for a lottery pick. But last night, Brandon Ingram cashed that 3 over Minnesota. Minnesota, you got to win games like this. These are the games that come back to hunt when you're trying to fight for an 8th seed. Chicago beat the brakes off of Detroit. That's all that must be said. The Clippers got a close win over the Denver Nuggets. Big time playoff style game, under 90 points. We're starting to see a lot more of these games where defense is actually being able to be physical, lean on the offensive players a little bit, put a couple of hands on them, actually contest the rim. They actually get to contest the rim now without a foul. All of the swipe throughs and jumping in people and all that stuff is dead now, super dead. So if you try that, you're getting left behind. But we here today overall to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, you don't want to follow the hot topic, trending topic, keep talking about what everybody else talking about, but sometimes the trending topic just have to be talked about. And that's what the Memphis Grizzlies are right now, 10 straight games, and what make it impressive is 7 of those teams are playoff teams. So they're not just playing against poo-poo competition, winning the games that they're supposed to win. They're actually raising their level to the Golden State Warriors, to the Brooklyn Nets, to the Phoenix Suns. They beat the Lakers twice in that span. Seen a couple other teams. But when you shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, you got to really put your chest in it because these dudes are hungry. When you look at just the stability of the Memphis Grizzlies overall, just the stability of the overall organization, not just the team in terms of the coach and the players. The front office been making some great decisions. You got Ja emerging as a young superstar. But let's go back to what led up to all of this. The first major draft investment that the Memphis Grizzlies made for this program that they have here is Jaren Jackson Jr. He was drafted number 4 overall, and they drafted him with the intent of, okay, we getting rid of Marc Gasol, so we got to draft a big that can replace him. Now, I'm sure they was looking at Jaren like, okay, you're 6'9", 6'10"-ish, and you can shoot, and we need to go in, and they had Jonas Valanciunas from the Marc Gasol's trade, so they're thinking like, okay, we need a stretch big type. You know what I mean? We need somebody that can play switch ability, lateral quickness, 3-point ability, post-up ability on mismatches, and all of that stuff. Cool. Very next year, 2019, they draft Ja Morant. What's the intent? 1-2 punch. We just traded Mike Conley. We traded Marc Gasol. Okay, so these are going to be our 2 guys. They're kind of shifting the orb in terms of the old, and out with the old and in with the new. With Ja Morant coming in, now when you look at the deal, when you fast forward to Jonas Valanciunas and all of these guys, they coming together. Jaren Jackson Jr. getting hurt for that entire season kind of hurt them, but it actually helped them in a way that Ja Morant was able to have more responsibility in terms of the team. And they actually still won a lot of games. And when you still look at the fact that they've been an 8th seeded type team for the last 2 years with a young player, that shows a high ceiling for going forward. You know what I mean? High opportunity. Ja Morant, when you look at the JV deal, they got back a first round. Although they lost Jonas Valanciunas, they got Steven Adams. They got Eric Bledsoe. They traded their first round pick from last year, which was Trey Murphy III, sent him to the Pelicans. They got back a future first round pick, which is this upcoming year, 2022. Think about that. They also made a deal with Boston that landed them a second round pick. They traded Juan Hernan-Gomez for Carson Edwards and Chris Dunn. They got a second round pick in that deal as well. So what Memphis is doing, they're pushing back their draft capital because they have a lot of young assets now. So we can get rid of a couple of, draft picks that we're getting because we don't want to stay as young, and we want to get a couple of veterans to progress the efficiency of how many games we can win. And when you look at little small deals they've been doing with second round picks, going to get Jarrett Culver, who was a lottery pick, okay? You have the Steven Adams deal, obviously. You have all of these deals, Grayson Allen, Jarrett Culver, Jonas Valanciunas. They made a few deals. You get what I mean? And they got rid of some old players and some veteran players that they didn't want. And they brought back some low-risk, high-reward talent. So let's say Ja get hurt, Dylan Brooks out, whatever. Now they got Jarrett Culver coming off their bench with Tyus Jones starting. You get what I'm saying? So they pushing the guys like Sam Murrell. They traded Grayson Allen for Sam Murrell and a second-round pick. He's playing in the G League. You got Jarrett Culver from Minnesota for a second-round pick. He's in the G League for Memphis. And they got one guy that they drafted in the second round this year. He's in the G League for the Memphis Grizzlies. So they could call those dudes up. They've been coming up and down on the being called up and sent down all season because of COVID and injury or whatever. But these dudes have a plethora of talent on the back end. And they still have future picks from the deals that they made to get rid of the current young pieces that they got rid of who hadn't played one game for them yet. That is A1 organization, bruh. That is A1. And this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded their pick this year along with a contract that's on their roster for a right now player. A right now type of player. You got Jeremy Grant on the horizon who can play power forward with He can play power forward with Jaren Jackson Jr. playing center with Ja, with Dylan, with Bane. They have lineup. They have versatility. They have young pieces. They have future assets. Bro, we got to commend the Memphis Grizzlies. Steven Adams go out for a couple games. That's cool. We can drop Jaren Jackson to the 5, play Brandon Clark, some backup power forward center minutes, get Kyle Anderson a little bit of small forward, power forward minutes, and keep that ball moving. That's one thing I noticed when I watch Ja Morant as a leader in terms of being the best player on his team. He's not a leader that just try to make every play. He allowed Desmond Bane to have a couple of pick and rolls, make a couple of dribble moves. Dylan Brooks, when he's healthy. That's another thing. Dylan was out for about the first 15 games. When Dylan first got back, Ja went out for a few games. Now that Dylan back out, Ja is in the lineup. It's like these dudes haven't been whole all year in terms of all of the pieces that they have to actually contend, and they're still winning on the highest level. Utah, you got to be careful. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, they're in the 4 seed, but, they're hunting. Like, they're truly hunting for that 3 seed. They're only one game behind the Utah Jazz. What'd that tell you? Any slippage of effort from the Utah Jazz, they had Gobert out for the last couple of games. Any window of error is slim for the Utah Jazz in terms of holding on to that 3 seed. When you look at the 2 seed, they're 4 games behind the 2 seed. Take that back. They have one less win and three more losses. So they're about 3.5 games behind the 2 seed. Golden State. Curry, you better get it together. I know Clay just came back. I know all of this and that in the third, but y'all don't have a lot of room for error either when the Memphis Grizzlies are coming. We seen that the other night. Curry, 27 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. Clay played pretty well. I'm not really judging Clay based off of his statistical production. I'm judging Clay based off of his lateral movement, his confidence, and all of those elements are 100 right now. Clay, he after it, driving, making dribble moves, running around like he always done. So I'm looking forward to see his conditioning get up now. Get the conditioning up with a couple more weeks, few more weeks. You get towards the All-Star break, he started to build up his endurance, get a couple bruises, scratches, plucks here and there, and then we'll really start to see the real Klay Thompson come playoff time. I think that's what he's gearing towards. He just wanted to use this time to practice, really. Use the regular season as practice for the major performance, which is the postseason. So when you watch that game, it was a close game. Memphis, they were fighting all game. Golden State was trying all game. Golden State made their run, but Memphis withstood the run. That's what you expect from young teams trying to close out games. Veteran teams usually, like when you watch the Brooklyn Nets, they have a lot of instances where they can be down 11 with 9 minutes left in the fourth, and they would chip away, boom, boom, boom. Then you look up with 3 minutes left, they up by 5, and then they close the game out. That's what veteran teams usually can do. But when you look at the Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies game, those young bucks didn't back down. They didn't fold. They didn't look inexperienced, wet behind the ears. They looked like they were ready, geared for this moment. You know what I mean? Polished with aggressiveness. I think he had 29 points. He going at Steph like Steph not that dude. Like Steph is not, he's actually going at Steph as if Steph is the number one player at the position. He's showing up for that competition in terms of raising his level to show I'm one of them dudes too. And when you watch him play, not just the electrifying plays, not just the block off the backboard that he got or the alley-oop where his head was over the rim. We're not even talking about just the explosion. We're talking about the poise. Slow down, read the floor, get his other guys involved, allow his other playmakers to actually handle the ball. When you look at Tyus Jones, he's been playing well for the Memphis Grizzlies. When you look at Dez Bane, I already mentioned Dez Bane. I made a post about Dez Bane last year on Facebook when he was coming off the bench. And it came to fruition because his opportunity was there with Dylan Brooks being out the lineup, with Ja being out the lineup. Dez been in there consistently. And he's been showing that he's a good NBA player with great potential because he's a second-year dude averaging 17. He come back next year, they move a couple pieces around, they give him even more opportunity. He can be a 21-point-per-game player with that big defensive body, having the ability to guard 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4s because of how small the league is. Shout out to Dez Bane. Like I said, Jaren Jackson Jr., stretching the 3, posting up mismatches, rebounding. Any team that try to play small with the Memphis Grizzlies is not going to work because they have a lineup that they have with Tyus Jones, Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Kyle Anderson, and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5, where they're small, but they so athletic and active on defense, as well as having switch ability, as well as being able to post up mismatches and punish mismatches if you switch on defense. If you play in terms of the team that they're going against, if they try to play small against the Memphis Grizzlies, they're going to punish you on the interior. These dudes leading the NBA over this streak that they're on. They're leading the NBA in points per game in the paint. So what that lets you know, they're breaking down the one-on-ones on the perimeter and they're getting where they want to at will. At will. It's so funny how they get rid of Jonas Valanciunas, who was a hog in that paint. 16, 17 points, 12, 13 rebounds, big body, all of that. They got rid of him and they actually scoring more in the paint now than they did last year. Think about that. And it's because of their presence with the ball. They have so many dominant ball handlers in terms of being able to get anywhere on the floor as well as shoot the 3. Ja Morant shooting 38% from 3 this year. We know the athleticism. We know the passing ability. We know the dog in his heart. We know the effort. But what we didn't know is if he had a consistent long-range jump shot that he can depend on if teams loaded up on him trying to get to the rim. If you load up on Ja Morant, he's going to burn you now. He's going to burn you now. That is so amazing to say because when you think about athletic players like Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, no disrespect. They're MVP level players. Derrick Rose had a Hall of Fame trajectory before injury. But they didn't have a shot consistently. They didn't. They both had like a little mid-range that they got to whenever, the opportunity was there. But neither one was efficient in their opportunities all the time or even for long stretches and when they was getting to that mid-range or the three. Ja is getting to the mid-range and the three, and with the floaters and the ability to get to the rim, Ja is unlocked. He is unlocked. He had a lob coming off a backdoor cut. He cut into the rim without the ball. If he get the off-ball movement going along with the shot and the at the rim ability, curtains. He definitely have potential for the number one spot at that point guard position. No disrespect. We know what Steph Curry is. Dame, he down right now, but we know what he is overall. Kyrie Irving, we know what he is. But when you look at Trae Young, Ja Morant, these young dudes are showing a level, bruh. And Trae have a faster pace than Ja, but Ja have speed that he have in his back pocket. He plays slower so that when he uses his burst is effective. You get what I mean? Not Russ. Russ is just running fast the whole game. You feel me? Ja, he slows down so that when he explodes, it's like, whoa. Like LeBron James made a comment the other night. He said that young man had rockets in his legs, in his calves. He got rockets in his calves. It's because when you see him gliding up, you're like, okay. But when he jump, he get up so fast. Like he get to that apex of his jumping ability so quick. It's like a rocket. And even when you look at his lateral speed in terms of changing direction with crossovers, he have a slick behind the back move that he used when he's going from right. He goes strong right, and then he has like slipped the behind the back to the left with a hard crossover right after it. And with that move, he gets to the rim at will. Even if you double team him, he splits double teams with that behind the back, and then he'll split it. The dude is nasty, bro. Y'all really have to start watching Ja Morant games. Clock in to Ja. Clock into the Memphis Grizzlies, because if you haven't, you are behind. Let's slide on over a little bit, man, cause I don't want to harp too much. I'm sitting here watching Philly and Charlotte. It's a close game, 1 point game. So if y'all wondering what I keep looking down at, I like to watch Philly versus Charlotte because Embiid. I don't know what it is about Charlotte, but Embiid just get up for that game. He be putting 40 on them all the time, so that's why I tuned into this game. But when you look at the game of the night tonight, it's the Brooklyn Nets and the Chicago Bulls. Very, very interesting game. Very interesting game. I'm so interested to see if the Brooklyn Nets, I'm not sure if James Harden playing. They're on the road, so Kyrie should be in the lineup. I know he tweaked his ankle last game. Let me speak on that for a little minute. I'm glad that just came around. Kyrie Irving came out in the post-game interview and said plays like that there should be no place in our game for plays like that. When you go back and you look at that Nasir Little play, he's diving for the ball. He's actually diving around Kyrie to make sure he don't take Kyrie's feet out. Kyrie not playing hard, not thinking about winning the game, diving himself for the ball. If coaches always preach when you're going for a loose ball to dive because of the inconsistency of stability with multiple bodies chasing one target. So if you have 4 guys chasing the ball, if all 4 of them dive, it's less opportunity for injury rather than if 2 of those 4 dive because they can run into it. You get what I'm saying. Kyrie, he's running for the ball, but he's looking behind him at the opposing player who's chasing the ball as well. A young, hungry Nasir Little who's getting opportunity to play for the Blazers to try to get minutes. He's trying to prove himself. He's still in a rookie deal. If Kyrie would have dove for the ball, he probably would have got it, and this would have been avoided. Instead, he's looking at Nasir Little, anticipating that he's going to dive, and Kyrie tries to jump over him and ended up landing on him and getting his ankle tweaked. And then he complains about the player that dove after the game as if he tried to take him out. Nah, dog, your mind wasn't in the right place. You should have been thinking about getting that rock. That's just straight up. Straight up. And that's just my opinion. If you think Nasir Little was dirty for that play, try to take your boy Kyrie out. Drop comments below. Let me know what you think. But yeah, when you look at that game, I'm really interested to see that game because Chicago been playing well. They just beat the brakes off the Pistons, put up 133 points. We already know they have those two wings and Levine and DeRozan. You got Lonzo Ball out there. They need to get Caruso back. I'm not sure when Caruso will be back, but he definitely helps their defense. So with those offensive players, that defense is stabilized when you have players who can go out there and just give 100% effort on trying to force turnovers and disrupt the other team. You feel me? Last night, Phoenix played Toronto, got a close win. Another game with both teams under 100 points. I'm liking this, bruh. I'm loving this. I don't know about y'all, but I like seeing close games where everybody just not putting up 120. Like, I don't want to see both teams go for 130. That's not interesting to me. I want to see 51 points to 48 points at halftime. You know what I mean? Because that's when you need strategy. That's when coaches need to implement lineups, close games, you can really judge coaching. You can really judge heart. You can judge effort way better in the lower scoring close game. That's why I'm liking this officiating that's going on this year. For sure. So, yeah, I think I can go ahead and cut it. I'm just rambling at this point. But that's what y'all here for. Y'all here to hear your boy ramble, right? Ramble about basketball. Chicago, the #1 seed. Brooklyn, the #2 seed. If Chicago win this game, they'll go up 3.5 games. Because that'll put a loss on Brooklyn's record, and that'll give Chicago another win. Hey, man, they taking over that 1 seed. Philly climbing. They 23-16 right now. Charlotte needs this win because that'll put them in. That'll put them a half game back from the 6th seed. Losing this game, if Charlotte losing this game right here to Philly, will put them back 2 games. So they need to get this win. Let me go ahead and get out of here. If y'all made it this far in the video, go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment, let me know what y'all think about anything I said. If there's any inconsistencies in my take, just let me know. I'm open to all basketball dialogue, healthy conversation. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Share the video if you haven't. Go check out a couple of other videos on the channel I've been dropping. So, yeah, I'll see y'all later. It's the RiSSky Powerhouse. I love y'all. Y'all will see me later. We out of here.